Okay, gang, this is May 2017, paper 22, he says. Yes, it is. I'm going to run you through the Word, PowerPoint, and Access tasks in here. Down in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, I'm going to try and keep up to date with the question numbers, but I do have a bit of a history of forgetting, so I'm sorry if I do. So, we're going to start out with the evidence document, so we need to open up J227 evidence.rtf, and the first thing we need to do is add name, center number, and candidate number to the header. We're then going to save this file as J227 evidence with candidate number afterwards. And we're going to make sure we save it as a Word document instead of an RTF file. So we'll hit save, and we can minimize that. So the first task is for the document. So you're going to edit a guide for new undergraduates at Tower R University. The university uses a corporate house style for all their documents. Paragraph styles should be created and applied as instructed. So using a suitable software package, open up new UG.rtf, there we go, and set the page orientation to landscape. There we go. Do not change the paper size or margin settings. Okay. Save the document, and this is question 2, which I've remembered to do because I'm very intelligent. Save the document in your work area with the file name UG Guide. UG Guide, and don't forget, Word document, not RTF. There we go. Evidence 1. Place in your evidence document a screenshot to show this file has been saved. Well, okay, we can do that. So we're going to be able to see this file. It is a docx file, and I'm going to use the snipping tool to take a screenshot of it. So we'll copy that, head back into my evidence document, and paste it there. Now, it's perfectly obvious that it's a docx file. If it weren't, if we didn't have the type visible, or the suffix, the file extension was not visible, then you might want to hit Properties and show it from there. So if I just show you how to do that. So if we go Properties, there we go. Docx file opens with Word. So we'll hit OK, and that's question 2. Question 3. Place in the header of the file UG Guide automated page numbers left aligned. So we'll go Insert, actually, we're already there, page number, current position, plain number. Automated file name and path, right aligned in the header. So to get to the right hand side of the header over here, I can go View Ruler, because I'm going to need to see that. If I just double click over here on the right hand margin, then it automatically moves my cursor there, and I can start putting that in. So we'll go Insert, and we want Field, which I can't see right now. Quick parts, there we go. Field, and file name, and the way that we get the file path is to tick Add Path to File Name. So if we hit OK, yours should be a little bit shorter than mine because of course I'm saving on a Windows 10 machine, and that will automatically try and drop it into OneDrive. If yours just says literally Z drive / UG Guide, that's fine. Just make sure it's not so long that it's creeping over the entire page. Okay. In the footer, place your name, center number, and candidate number left aligned. And that's all that goes in there. Make sure that all alignments match the page margins, and they do. We're right there on the left-hand side, we're right there on the right-hand side. No other text or placeholders are included in the header and footer area, there isn't. And headers and footers are displayed on all pages. Well, we can see that that's true. So now I'll just hit save. That's question 3, and we can move on over the page. So we're going to create the following paragraph styles. Now, before we do this, we're going to want to clear all of the formatting from this document because, as usual, they've thrown us some serif fonts in, some sans serif fonts. We've got different sizes, different alignments. So by far the easiest way to approach this is to select all text, hitting Ctrl-A, and then hit clear formatting on the button up at the top. Now we have our house style specifications. So this is obviously going to be a title. So we're going to make a new style called UG title. It will be sans serif, 24 point, right aligned. It will be underlined, single line spacing, 0 point spacing before and 12 point spacing afterwards. That all looks good. Having done that, we're going to go up top here and hit Save Selection as New Quick Style and call it UG-Title. Hit OK and it appears on our Styles menu. Now we're going to do Subtitle. So for this, I'm just going to write Subtitle and select it. It's going to be sans serif, so I'll stick with Arial. 16 point. It will be centered. It will be italic. Single line spacing. 0 in front, 0 after. That's fine, so we'll hit OK. Save selection as New Quick Style, and that's UG-Subtitle. Subhead is going to be the next bit. And we'll probably want to go back to normal before we do that. So subhead, we'll select that. Sans serif, 14 point, centered, bold and italic, single line spacing, 0 points before, 12 points after. Hit OK. Save selection as New Quick Style, UG-Subhead. Hit OK. Now we're going to want to sort body, so we'll select all of that. This will be serif, so I'm going to go Times New Roman. It should be 12 point. It should be justified, which is this one here. No enhancement, single line spacing, 0 points before and 12 points after. Hit OK. New Quick Style, UG-Body. And the last one will be UG Bullet. So, oops. Hit the wrong thing. There we go. So for bullet, it's going to be pretty much the same as body. It's going to be 12 point serif, single line spacing. We're going to get rid of that 12 points afterwards. There we go. And it needs to be a square-shaped bullet. To get that, we're just going to select the square bullet from that list. If they do ask for something slightly different, you can go down to Define New Bullet and pick a different symbol. It's very, very rare that they've asked to see that in the past. So just sticking with this simple set of options here should be enough. We also have over here 1 centimeter left indent with hanging paragraphs. So for this, we're going to want to go to Page Layout, and we have indent. Now I'm in inches at the moment, but if I put 1 cm and press enter, it will convert it into inches for me. Where it says hanging paragraphs underneath, literally all that means is if you go down onto another line, and it's done that because I've fully justified it, hanging paragraphs means that the left-hand margin of each line underneath the first one is directly underneath that first one. So that right there is absolutely fine. So if we select that line, back into New Quick Style, UG-bullet, and hit OK. So now we've got all of the styles that we need. I'm going to delete those 3 bits and pieces. Place in your evidence document screenshot or screenshots to show all of the settings for the UG-bullet style only. Well, to do that, we go into Modify. Now, I don't need to take more than 1 screenshot because I can see all of the information down here. It is in inches, which is not ideal. If I just go to, is it Customize or is it Options? This isn't something that you would have to do in... there we go. Show measurement in units of centimeters. There we go. So if I go back in and hit Modify, now we can see it in centimeters. Now actually we can see that that right there isn't perfect. That's a bit of a problem. So let me go back into my bullet. I will apply the bullet to it. Select that. We'll go to Page Layout, Indent, left 1 centimeter. Interesting. Well, okay. I mean, that looks fine to me. Okay. So if we go back and we hit Modify, these different values here, I think, apply to the bullet and the distance between. Yeah, they do. So 0.37 centimeters until the bullet appears, and then another 0.63 centimeters after. Those add up to 1 full centimeter, so that's fine. So, what we can do is take the snipping tool, take a new screenshot of that, Control-C to copy, get rid of that window, back into our evidence document, Control-V to paste. We'll just make these two a little bit smaller so that they fit. There we go. So that's question 4. There we go. We'll move on to question 5. So, apply the UG title style to the title Undergraduate Guide for New Students at the start of the document. Well, I've already done that. I'm going to delete that bullet so it's no longer there. Question 6, below the title, add the subtitle, edited by, and then your name. Now, obviously, it shouldn't be formatted as title. It should be formatted as subtitle. There we go. That's question 6. Question 7. Apply the UG subtitle style to this text. Well, I've already done that. So that was question 7. Question 8. Apply the UG body style to the rest of the document. So we'll select everything right down to the bottom, and we'll go UG body. There we go. That was question 8. Question 9. Change the page layout so that the subheading, International Community, and all following text are displayed in 3 columns of equal width with a 1.5 centimeter space between them. So if I go right down to the bottom, normally we see 2 columns. They're asking for 3 here. I'm not just going to use the 3 column option because obviously I don't get control over my column gaps, my gutters. So I'm going to choose 3 columns and 1.5 centimeter spacing. Hit OK. There we go. Yeah, that looks fine. So question 10. Apply the UG bullet style to the text Attend Welcome, which is here, all the way down to the university campus. So we'll apply that bullet style just there. There we go. That was question 10. Question 11. Identify the 8 subheadings. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just holding Control right now to select these. 5, 6, 7, 8. You can do them all individually, but sometimes just holding Control and finding them all is helpful. And those are UG subhead. So that's that done. There we go. Obviously, at this point, we've got a bit of a widow and an orphan just here. We've got 1 and a bit lines on the second page, but we're not yet finished with formatting it, so don't worry about things like that just yet. So that was question 11. Skip over the page. Question 12. Using the data in a CSV file. Okay, so now we're going to make a pie chart. So let's just minimize this for now, or minimize the snipping tool. So UG DOM, no, J227 DOM.csv. We'll open that up in Excel. See, this is the problem with having more than one version of Office installed. There we go. Just drag that in. Okay. So we'll make a pie chart to show the total students enrolled by region. So we'll take, obviously, having a look at this data, what we don't want is to include the total in this. We just want these 3 regions, and then we just want those 3 values. So we'll go Insert, Pie. There we go. Okay, so it says here, label the chart with the title, Students by Domicile. So we'll need to add a title above. To do that, if we go to Layout, Chart Title, Above Chart. There we go. It says display a legend, which we have, and display on each sector only the percentage values. So if we add data labels, well, at the moment, that's not really what we want. So we'll go to Format Data Labels. We don't want the value, we do want the percentage. So having done that, we're in slightly better shape. If you're worried at all about colours, I think we should be okay. I think these are different enough. So having got that chart, oh look, we've gone from question 12 to 13 to 14, and now we're on 15. So I'm going to copy this chart from here. We'll go back into Word, and we want to paste this immediately after the paragraph ending, students studying with us. So that's going to be here. So if we paste it just there we go. Make sure that the chart fits within the column width and all data is displayed in full. Now I think really this needs to be a little taller than it is, otherwise we can't really see it all that clearly. Plus it means that we move Welcome Week over to that second column, which I think is probably what they're looking for. Okay, so we've also done, oh no we haven't, okay, so we're on 16 now. So, format the paragraph that starts, "We are proud that..." Is it that one? No. "We are proud that 80% of our graduates..." There we go. Yeah, that's the paragraph. And we want to put an external 3 to 4 point black border around it. Now, the only important thing to remember when applying a border to a paragraph is this little section just here. If I were to try and put a border around this text without that little extra chunk just there, the way that that would look is like that, which obviously isn't what we want. So what you need to make sure of is when you select your text, just get rid of that and apply UG body to it again. When you select your text, you've got to make absolutely certain that you go off the end of that final line. That's what selects the paragraph as opposed to the text within the paragraph. So now having selected that, we're going to go to Borders, just as if we were formatting a table. Down to Borders and Shading. We want a 3 to 4 point, 3 will do, border around all 4 sides. We'll hit OK. There we go, that's what we're looking for. And then apply light shading it always specifies a percentage value. It says light grey shading, 10 to 25%. Now you can see here that this says white, background 1, darker 15%. So that right there is absolutely fine. This is 25%, so that would be fine too. Any darker would not, you would lose the mark for that. And any lighter, so that 5% one, wouldn't show up if we printed it. So you want to make sure that you get either that grey or that grey when you're being told about percentage values. So I'll go with that one. That was number 17. And we'll move on to 18. So move the paragraph which starts, we have extensive. Well, let's have a look for that. There it is. We have extensive computing facilities. So it is positioned immediately below the subheading computing services. So if I just cut that from there, and then we want to insert it just there. So Control V to insert. There we go. Okay. Import the image. This is 19. Import the image j227 leisure.jpg and place this below the subheading leisure activities, which is there. So we'll put a new line in. Now you can go insert and go and find it, but I'm just going to drag it in. There it is. Reflect the image. This is number 20. Reflect the image so that the skater faces left. Well, to do that, we can go up to Format, Rotate, and Flip Horizontal. There she is. 21. Resize the image so that it is 2 centimeters wide. Well, if we take that, 2, press Enter, and the aspect ratio is maintained by default in Word. Align the image to the top of the paragraph starting, we provide plenty of opportunities, and to the left of the column. So we're going to want to set the text wrapping first, so we'll do square. We're going to want to go align. If we try left, it's going to move it all the way to the left side of the page, which is not what we want. So what we'll do instead is eyeball it. Now, that right there is pretty close to perfect. If you make sure that when you're moving it, you can see that dashed line is touching the top of the capital of W, and it's also touching the left side of the column, then you're in pretty good shape. Okay. Make sure the text wraps around the image. It may look like this, and it does. So that was 21. 22. Spell check and proofread the document. Now they've got into the habit of dropping some spelling mistakes in. So we're going to want to go review spelling and grammar. Wi-Fi is fine. We can ignore some of them. You know, we don't have to fix them, although Y-Fi I suppose is better, so we'll change that. Now obviously that should not be students, it should be students, so we'll change that. That should be course materials. That's okay, we can ignore that. And we might want to add Tawara to the dictionary because it'll appear a lot. Now we will ignore the grammar of that. We will ignore the grammar of my name. And then we're done. Okay. I've got a gap there. I think I might have to add a column break a little later. Okay. And actually we're at that point already. So in 22 we've spell checked and proofread. Make sure that the list is not split over 2 columns or pages. It is not. There are no widows or orphans. Well, strictly speaking, I think this would qualify. So I'm just going to hit enter a couple of times to move it down. Now the problem with that is it moves this little chunk here down again, which is not necessarily ideal. Though honestly, I'm not 100% sure that I can fix that, short of changing the serif font that I've used. I have mentioned in class a couple of times that if you find that you have a problem like this, and you're worried about losing a mark for that orphan there, what you can do is go and have a look for another slightly smaller serif font. If I remember rightly, Garamond is a smaller serif font than Times New Roman. It's not by much, but it is slightly smaller. So if I update, there we go, UG body to be Garamond instead of Times New Roman, well, what that's done is fix some of those issues. So I have University Card. I'm not 100% sure that I really like that. But I think it's less of an issue than it used to be. Now, I have completely messed up my leisure activities. So actually, in fixing that very small problem, what I've done is create a bigger problem for myself, because there is no way that I can put my skater underneath leisure activities here. So I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that. And again, there we go. So having tried to fix it, I'm just going to make my peace with it. If I end up losing 1 mark for having an orphan just there, well, it's not the end of the world. Remember that the grade boundary for an A star is roughly 68%, or at least it was on this paper, so not a massive problem. Okay, make sure that there are no blank pages, that the house style specification has been followed and the correct styles applied as instructed. The image and graph are placed within the column width. Well, they are. Yep. Spacing between all items is consistent. Yes. Save the document using the same file name and format used in step 2. I'll just hit Control S and then print the document. So go File, Print. There we go. And you would hit OK. I'm not going to bother wasting the paper. Okay. 23. The university are going to create an online facility to enable communication on a range of issues. They need to decide between using a blog and a forum. Evaluate in your own words the differences between a blog and a forum. Recommend what you consider to be the most appropriate option for use by the university and explain your reasons. Now, this is one of those questions that they've started throwing in there, which I'm not, well, sometimes I'm a fan, sometimes I'm not so much. Okay, so the difference between a blog and a forum. So, a blog is primarily written by one author, and while comments can be made on blog posts, it is not a format that is commonly used for two-way communication, so may not be the best choice of platform to enable communication. Forums, however, can be set up to allow a large number of users to communicate by use of text-based posts. University staff could be given moderator controls to allow them to edit or delete inappropriate posts, and this would be a much more workable solution for a two-way communication system. Just on this front, I'm going to go and try and find you an example of a forum. It's one of those things that they've decided they care about. I mean, they've been around since the mid-90s. So, I'm going to go and find one for you. Here we go. This is the discussion forum on Duolingo, which is a language learning website that you might have used. You can see that the top posts are stickies. So somebody has decided that these are particularly important, so they appear up top. If we just have a quick look at one of these threads, we've got somebody who has made this post. We can see information about them. And then underneath, people can reply. It's very much along the lines of Reddit or other things that are similar to them. So because we've been told this is supposed to be an online facility to enable communication, a blog does not work quite as well for that as forums would. Having said about moderator controls, yeah. I'll just put another couple of points in here, because this is a 4-mark question, so you're going to need to show a little bit of knowledge about these things. Now again, it may not be something that I've spent an awfully long time talking to you about, because they really don't emphasize this in the syllabus, but they've decided that they've started caring about it, so it may well come up again. Users may have to register in order to post, and registration could be restricted only to people with a university email account. And then university staff could be given moderator controls to allow them to edit or delete inappropriate posts, and this would be a much more workable solution for a two-way communication system. I think something along those lines is pretty good for a 4-mark question. It does say no more than 100 words. Let's just have a look. I've got 113. Okay. Get rid of our however. It is not a format for two-way communication, so may not be the best choice of platform. There we go. Oops. Getting a bit extemporaneous. Forums can be set up to allow about many users. There we go. 102. That'll do. 99 words. Wonderful. Okay, so that was question 23. I'm really not a massive fan of those questions, but I do understand why they put them in. I wish they'd pick things that were a little less esoteric, but who am I? Okay, so task 24 takes us onto the database. So I'm going to minimize my evidence document. I'm going to open up Access. There it is. And we're going to make a new database. So it doesn't specify what we will call it. So I'm going to call it Tower University. And I'm going to go and drop it into the folder that I'm working on. So it's IGCSE ICT May 2017. There we go. I'll hit create. I will close this table because I don't need it. And now I'm going to go and find the data from these CSV files. Now it tells me straight away, examine the data in these files. So I'm going to open them up to have a look. So if I double click, it's going to cause issues for me again. So I actually don't need this anymore, so I'll just delete that. There we go. Don't really need you. No. And don't really need you. So now I will drag the degree file in. Okay, so I can see that this has column headings in it, which is good news because it makes importing it nice and easy. And faculty, we'll take a look at that one too. Yeah, same again. Okay, that's fine. So I need to close those if I'm going to open them up and then import them into Access, otherwise I'll get a read-only error message. So, external data. Text file. Browse. Into my folder. I'll take the degree one first. Hit open. Import into a new table. We'll hit OK. So, delimited is what we want. First row contains field names. Yes. Again, that's what we want. Now I spotted a Boolean field towards the end here. And we need to remember that Boolean fields need to be set on import. So I'm going to set that to yes, no now. Everything else I can leave until a little bit later. Okay, so set the course code field as the primary key. Course code is just there, so I will choose my own, and it will be course code. There we go. Yeah. Okay, next I will leave the same name. I might put TBL in front of it, so I'm still sure that it's a table. There we go. And then I'm going to take in the next one. So import, and it's faculty. Yeah. Delimited. Yeah. First row contains field names. I don't have a Boolean field, so I don't need to worry about that. Oh, actually, I'm jumping the gun. I've only been told to import the degree table. Okay, that's good to know. So, okay, so if I open up this table, I can see the data. I'm going to go into design view because it specifies that this yes/no field should be formatted as a checkbox, which is on or off. So if I go back and have a look, actually no. Okay, so instead, if we have a look in lookup, instead of it being a text box, it should be a checkbox. That's how we sort that. So that's now set to checkbox, and if we go back, there we go. Now we've got the checkbox there for full time. Okay, so take screenshot evidence showing the field names and data types used in the table. Insert this screenshot into your evidence document. So we're going to want to be able to see all of these things right now. We don't have any formatting applied to any field other than this yes/no. So we want to make sure that checkbox is visible down there. So using the snipping tool, I'm going to go right from the top down to here. That will do nicely. Control-C to copy into my evidence document. Control-V to paste. Make it a little bit smaller. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so that was 24. Now we'll do 25. Restrict the data entry in the length field to accept only numbers of 6 or less. Well, this is going to be a validation rule. So less than or equal to, yeah. Length must be 6 or less. We don't put a full stop in the validation text, otherwise it can cause problems. So if we save the table, yes, let's have a look. Length, and we look to be okay. That's fine. Okay, so that was 25. Again, it wants us to take a screenshot. Now for this one, we just need the bit down here. So again, snipping tool. That bit will do. Control-C, into Word, Control-V. We'll just make this one a little bit smaller so that both can fit. That'll do. Yep. And we'll move that on to the next page. Okay, so that was 25. 26. So, add this record. It will be right down at the bottom. Oops. Okay, so down here, AES, BS, Food, Science, CTY, AG137BS, length 5, male 2, female 5, and it is full time. There we go. Check your data entry for errors, save the data, done. Now we're going to import the faculty file. Okay, so now we're on 27. So we'll go back to external data, text file, browse, faculty. There we go. So, delimited, first row contains field names, and set faculty code as the primary key. That's the one. And again, I'll just put TBL in front of that, so I know that it's a table. Now, we know where this is going. Create a relationship between the faculty code field in the faculty table and the faculty code field in the degree table. So, database tools, relationships, we need to add them both. And we're going to go from faculty code in faculty to faculty code in degree. This is where we hope that we don't have any integrity rules. Now, we've had this several times where they've started putting in data that does not agree, that has errors in it. If we want to check, what we're going to do instead of enforcing referential integrity is untick that and hit create. So we have the relationship between the two tables. We'll save it. We'll open up that faculty table and we'll go and have a look at them. BIS does not have anything in there. Neither does div. Okay. Now I'm going to guess that in the degree table, if we sort A to Z, actually we can have a look in here. We don't have any bis or divs, but we're probably going to have something that does not appear in that list. So if I just get that list up, in fact, if I do it using snipping tool, there we go, and I just move it over to the side, back into degree, we have AES, APH, BUS, EDU, ENG, FIA, LIA, MED, SDI. Now, what is SDI? That's what's causing our problem here. SDI should be div, or div should be SDI. Now, this really aggravates me. I hate this. I hate that they do this. If I now change div to SDI, now I will be able to apply that relationship between them. So if I go back in here and edit that relationship, now I can make it one-to-many. If they wanted you to know how to do that, they should tell you that they want you to do that. They do not tell you that they want you to do that. So I hate that they've started putting that in. If they made a mention of it in the exam paper, that would be fine. It's not a problem. But they don't do that, and I hate it. If you find yourself not able to make a relationship between the two tables, at most you're going to lose 1 mark for not enforcing referential integrity. So if you don't have the confidence to do what I just did and go and check through that data and fix an error, that's okay. Lose that 1 mark and then move on with the rest of the paper. Okay? So that's the relationships done. We're going to move on to number 28. Using fields from both tables, produce a report which, now, we know that we're not going to start with a report, we're going to start with a query. So we'll start out with the query wizard. And the first thing that I always do is look for that list of fields. So I want subject first, then length, then head of faculty, and I can't see that here, so it's going to be in there. There we go. And campus in this order. Okay, that's fine. Now we also have to select those records where qualcode is PhD. So we're going to need qualcode, even if we're not going to show it. There we go. And we need length, but we've already got that. Now that's fine. Okay. So we'll go through and we'll have QRY and then they call it extended doctoral options. So I'll just call it QRY extended doctoral. I'll go into modify the query design. Now before I forget, we do not want to show qual code, so we'll untick that, but under criteria we will put PhD, and length is greater than or equal to 4. Now let's just go and have a look, see what we've got. That looks about right in terms of the length of the first report that they want you to do. That looks okay. So we'll go back in. We want to sort the length in descending order, then ascending order of subject. Now where we want to sort on 2 fields, we're going to do that sort in the report, so we'll leave that until a little bit later. Page orientation of portrait, well, all of this from this point on now is going to be done in report. So I'm going to save this query. Yes, I want to save changes. I'm going to select that query by clicking on it and click Create. Report Wizard. I want those 4 fields in. Next. I do not want that. It's really important that you don't add grouping based on any particular table. What you want is that one box, that's all we need. Hit next. We don't want grouping levels, but we do want to sort. So we're going to sort length in descending order, and we're going to sort subject in ascending order. There we go. It's going to be portrait. I'm going to stick with the default, and this is going to be RPT extended doctoral. So we'll go ahead and preview. Now that looks actually pretty okay. I've just got one little bit there that's cut off, so I'm going to need to fix that. So I'll close my print preview. We'll go into layout view. This is going to have to be a little bit longer. That'll do. But of course header faculty does not need to be that long. That's fine. So there we go. Actually, I can probably make that a little bit wider. That's fine. Length as well, I think, is maybe just a little too thin. So long as it all fits on one A4 page, you're fine. Okay? So, includes the heading, extended doctoral options, calculates the total number of subjects in this selection and positions this below the subject column. Well, that's going to be count records. That's the total number of them. And we're going to have to put a label to the left of that. Now, I'm not making life easy for myself at the minute by being in layout view, so I'll go back into design view, label, and we want total subjects. Okay. Now actually, I'm in the wrong order at the moment. I should have subject first. So I'll drag that in front of length. Subject, then length, then header faculty, then campus. Now, so long as you spot those problems, you're okay, but you need to make sure that you do. So I'll put that total back in, and what I will do is, because it's now grouped with that, if I cut it, then I should be able to move it so that I can put the label next to it. There we go. Total subjects, 33. Now, strictly speaking, I feel like that ought to be count subject, as opposed to just count all. But they do basically the same thing, so I'm not going to worry over it. Okay, has your name, centre number and candidate number on the report? Well, to know where to put that, we need to know how many pages we have. And we've got one, so that's fine. So just down here, I'm going to put it on the bottom right because we've got some space. go, that'll do. Print preview, and it's there. Strictly speaking, I don't really like it right there, so I'm going to put it in page footer instead. I much prefer that information to be actually at the bottom of the page instead. Okay, now it doesn't specify anything about page numbers or date. Because we only have one page, I'm going to delete the number of pages. And actually, I don't really think we need the date either, so I'm going to get rid of that too. And we don't have any right margin issues, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to move them in. Print preview, and we're all fine. We have exactly what they've asked for, but no more than what they've asked for. All good. Okay, so I'm going to save. Obviously you would print, I'm not going to, but that was number 28. Okay, evidence 7. Place in your evidence document screenshots to show the formula used to calculate the number of subjects. Now, I think what they probably want is to have the field name of subjects in there. Now, let's just... If I can resize this, which is not making easy for me. No, it's exactly the same. I'm going to care a little less. Equals count, and then everything. It will do exactly what they're asking for. If they choose not to like that, if they would prefer to have the field heading in, tough. They're not getting it from me. Okay, so I'm going to take a screenshot of that. There we go. Copy. I'm going to drop it into my evidence document. Oh, relationship screenshot. Glad I noticed that. Whoops. How about I go and do that now? Yes, I'll save it. Database tools, relationship. There we go. Okay, so snipping tool, new. See, when you're rushing, easy to miss things. Paste that in, bit smaller. Okay, fine. So, yes, I want to save the layout. Okay, that was 28. Now we're going to have our final report. Now we can pretty much guarantee that this will have a calculated field. Actually, sorry, a runtime in it. Oh, look, total enrolled, which is calculated at runtime. So, what we're going to do is hit create. We're going to click Query Wizard, Simple Query Wizard. Once again, we're going to have a look at the list of fields to put in there. We're going to start with course code, qual code, subject, faculty. Now that's going to come from the other table. Male, female, full-time, and then this total enrolled. And total enrolled is going to be the runtime field that we add. Okay, so having got those, we're going to call this QRY total enrolled. Why not? Modify query design. So the first thing that I'm going to do is put in my runtime field. So to do that, we're going to type the name of it, no square brackets before the colon. So we're going to put total underscore enrolled colon and then the fields that are involved. So it's going to be adding male plus female, nice and easy. So in square brackets, male plus female. That's it. Now if we go and have a look, total enrolled, yep, good, lovely. Nice and easy. Okay, select only those records where the subject contains the word science. Now, the word contains is important there. So, subject Science. Let's go and have a look. Yeah, lovely. And then qual code is BS or BA. Now, I'm still seeing some people using these rows for that. If you put BS there, and then you put BA there, you're causing yourself some problems, because every single row here has to include all of the criteria that you're going to do. So if you want to do it like this, then you're going to need like science just there. Otherwise, what we will get is all of the BS codes that have science in the subject name, and then all of the BAs, whether they've got science in the name or not. And that's not what we want. So it is much, much safer to put or BA, and then you're okay. Alright? Full time, yes. Remember, when we put yes for a Boolean field, you do not want quotation marks around it. Quotation marks are just for text. And those are our search parameters. We have selected all of our fields. Okay, everything else is going to be on the report. We're going to close this and save it. And we're going to make a report based upon it. So report wizard. Make sure we've got the right one, QRY total enrolled. We will add all of those to it. Yeah, next. Again, one box. We don't want to group anything. And we have to put it in ascending order of qual code. That's it. Landscape. Next, next. RPT total enrolled. We'll preview to begin with. Let's have a little look. Okay, we're going to need to do some resizing, but it looks okay. And we're only over 2 pages. And that looks about right to me. Yeah, that looks okay. Alright, so we'll close print preview. We'll go into layout view to do our resizing. Qual code course code can be much smaller than that. Qual code might do to be a little bit wider. There we go. That looks fine. And this needs to be a little wider. Yeah. Male, female, full-time, and total enrolled. There we go. Okay, that looks better. So, are we in alphabetical order of qual code? BA, BS, yeah, looks like. Okay. So, includes the report title Selected Tower of Art Degrees. At the top of the page. Name, candidate number, and centre number at the top right of the report. Now, when they tell you where to put it, don't ignore them. There we go. Top right, that's fine. Does not display a page number, so we're going to get rid of that. And we probably don't want the date, seeing as they haven't asked for it. Save and print. Well, we can make the page footer smaller. Now it doesn't have anything in it. So, print preview. That looks good. Yeah. Next. And that looks good too. Okay, I mean, we've only got 3 records down there, but I don't think we need to do anything to try and squeeze them all onto one page. They've only said that it should be 1 page wide. They haven't said that everything should fit onto 1 page. Or have they? Yeah, single page wide, that's fine. So, I'm going to save, you should print. I'm going to close that down. And that's everything for databases. So, okay. I'm going to minimize this because we might have to come back to it because we're doing the mail merge next. Okay. Task 30. You are required to carry out a mail merge to produce a checklist for new students which will include details of their library induction appointment. Open up checklist.rtf. There it is. No, it isn't. That's the evidence document. That's the checklist. Okay. Okay, the data source file is that CSV file. Where are you? New stew.csv. There it is. Nope. That's it. Okay. So I don't want to have that open. If I do have that open, and I try to do my mail merge, I will get an error message. I have seen many people freak out having seen that error message. You do not want to be one of those people. So, in the master document, in the header, replace the date with a new field. So we're going to delete that. We are going to insert date and time. You have to make sure it is ticked as update automatically. And it should be DD MMMM YYYY. Now, if you don't know which one of these that looks like, that's okay. Hit OK. Right click and toggle field codes. And what we want to do is DD, and they put spaces in between these, not slashes, not dashes, so put spaces. MMMM space YYYY. Now they've put in the document DD in lowercase, all of the M's in uppercase, all of the Y's in lowercase. You should do exactly the same. Having done that, we are going to toggle the field codes again. We are going to update the field, and there we can see the date format. Okay? So, we've done the date. I'm assuming that we're going to have to put in the evidence field. Yep, we are. So I might as well do that now. Toggle field codes. If I just get the snipping tool again. There we go. Edit copy into my evidence document. Date field. There it is. Okay, all good. So, I can now toggle that back. Done. Okay, insert relevant merge fields from the data source to replace the text in chevrons. So that's going to be these things here. So before I can do that, I'm going to hit mailings, select recipients, use existing list. I'm going to go to find my existing list in documents and IGCSE. There we go, and it's new stew. That's the one. Okay, so I'm going to replace what I have here. I've got first name. There we go. Last name. Degree. Start date. Faculty. That's it. Now, what else have we got? Okay, site. This is an interesting one because it's quite easy to miss some of these. Tutor. Session 1. Session 2. Session 3. Session 4. Session 5. Okay, so that's all of the fields in. Include your name, centre number and candidate number in the footer. There we go. Okay, spell check and proofread the document. So review, spelling and grammar. Uniportal we can ignore. That's supposed to be E.G. I mean, meh. Yeah, no, ignore. Ignore. Yeah, we're fine. Okay, save the master document. Now, we do not want to save as an RTF. We want to save as a .docx. Save. There we go. Display the field codes. So, we're going to print that. Yeah, with those field codes shown. There we go. Just checking to make sure I haven't missed anything. So the evidence is already in the evidence document. Print out 4. Yeah. Name, candidate number, centre number. Yeah. Now, 31. This is where we go back into mailings and we edit the recipient list. So we only want people who have started on or after. So we're going to add a filter. We're going to choose start date, and it should be greater than or equal to. And I'm just going to type in the date and hope it works. I haven't actually done one like this before. Let's have a look. Hit OK. Yeah, there we go. So you just type it in. Now, I've said before that you should aim, well, in previous years, they've given us between 2 and 5 records to merge. If you've got 15 records, then you haven't done your mail merge selection correctly. This is absolutely fine. We've got just 4 of them. That's okay. So we're going to hit OK. We're going to finish and merge to edit those individual documents. We will hit OK. So we can see Sophie Arnold. Oh, that's interesting. We've got a bit of a formatting issue there. Let's try that. There we go. That's a bit strange. Oh, we haven't got that issue there. Oh, that's fixed it. Interesting. Okay, so we've got Sophie Arnold, we've got Mohammed Bansal, we've got Ishmael Contreras, and we've got Sophie Cunningham. And that is everybody. So we're going to save these. I'm going to drop them into the same folder. Mail merged letters. They haven't told me to save it as anything particular. Yeah. And then you're going to print them. That was 31. 32. Print only the merged checklists for the selected students. So that's those 4 documents. Save and close the documents. And that's mail merge done. So the final thing that we have to do is the presentation. Okay, so I can close this, I can close this. Yes, I want to save the changes. Okay, so now we're going to go into PowerPoint. There we go. All slides must have a consistent layout and formatting. This is 33, by the way. Unless otherwise instructed, each slide must display a title and bulleted list. So create a presentation of 7 slides using research.rtf. So we're going to go new slides, slides from outline, and we want, I'm in the wrong folder right now, there we go, research.rtf, insert. Now, remember that it will leave the blank slide that you had to begin with, so we want to delete that, and that first slide ought to be title slide. There we go. Okay, so that was 33, 34. Display the following features on all slides. So this is telling us that we need to use Slide Master. So we will go View, Slide Master, and on every single slide, the company logo, logo.jpg, positioned in the top left corner, appropriately sized. There it is. We'll drag it in. Now, what does appropriately sized mean? I think appropriately sized would be the same size as that box right there. And having done that, I'm going to make that box fit it. That'll do. Yeah. Your name, centre number and candidate number in the bottom right corner. So I'm going to delete what's down here. Insert a text box. I'm going to make it just a bit wider so that it fits, and I'm going to right align it. There we go. Also delete that one, there's no need for it. There's actually no need for the date either. Automatic slide numbers in the top right hand corner. So if we go insert slide number, actually no, let's not do that. Let's put oh, actually, should we? I'm going to put a text box and insert the slide number into it. That gives me more control over how this thing looks. Let me just make that a little bit thinner. Okay. So if we just have a look at each slide and make sure, yeah, they look okay. Okay, so that was 34, 35. Okay, if I leave slide master. Okay, now 35 says change the layout of slide 1 to an appropriate layout for a title and subtitle. Well, I've already done that. Insert your name after the text presented by. Delete the slide with the title Characteristics of the Internet. This is 36. Done. 37. Change the layout of the slide with web search tools to a title and table. Now, what I'm going to do is if I click on this box and go insert table, we want 3 columns and 9 rows, and it will replace what I'm on top of. So 3 columns, 9 rows, okay. Actually, no, it won't. What I will do is put this on top of it and resize it until it fits. There we go. Okay, format the table with all grid lines displayed and no cell shading, like this. So we want design, shading, no fill, borders, all borders. Now that I've put no fill, I'm going to have to delete that box that was behind it. There we go. Okay, copy the data from the file tools.csv. So if I open up tools.csv, oh look, it's opening in the wrong version of Excel. Never mind. I'll copy from there. I will paste into there. Okay, make sure that the data in each row is displayed on one line. Well, it's a little small right now. I think we could do to be a bit bigger. Yeah. Okay. Insert a new row above the first row of the table and enter the heading. So that's going to be here. Types of search engine available. I'm assuming it's going to tell me to merge it, and it is. Okay. So we'll go all the way across, merge cells, and having made it all a bit big now, I need to make it a bit smaller. Now, what we can do here No, we can't resize those rows. So I'm going to go back to before I made them all bigger. Oh, actually, no, it isn't. That's not really the issue. There we go. Okay. Realized that I had a layout problem. So I'm going to put my row in front again. I'm going to go merge it. Types of search engine available. Merge, format, oh no, we're up to 40 now. We're going to make those bold and 24 point. This is where they tell us about size. Everything else they haven't specified, so we can leave them pretty much as they are. I mean, it looks horrible, but hey, this is IGCSE. It always does. Okay. Now I've just noticed I haven't yet saved this. That's probably a good idea too. So I'm going to go into my folder. We'll just call it Using the Internet for Research. That's fine. Okay, the slide with the title Why Internet Information May Not Be Reliable is incomplete. Identify in your own words 2 reasons why information found on the Internet may not be reliable and enter your answers as separate bullets on this slide. So, unlike with books or printed materials, anyone can publish information on the internet with no requirement for those comments to be truthful. We can also talk about how the internet is not regulated. So untrue comments will not be policed or taken down. You can talk about things like bias. Individual people may have their own biases. If we're talking about a company, those companies may come with their own biases, but they only ask for 2 points. That was number 41. This is number 42. The slide with the title, How to Evaluate Website Content, is incomplete. Give 2 methods in your own words of checking the reliability of information found on the internet and enter your answers as separate bullets. So once again, cross-referencing a web-based source with other sources can be a helpful way of checking the content. Researching the reputation of the publisher, or only including whether it comes from an academic or governmental source, increases would be a good indication of veracity. Okay, save the presentation, print the presentation as a handout with 6 slides per page. So if we go print, so we've got 6 slides per page. Actually, if we print right now, even though we can see this picture, it's not going to work. So we're going to go handouts, 6 slides per page, that's right there. Hit OK and it will print. Obviously I'm not going to. Make sure that name, candidate number, center number are on all slides, and they are. Print only the slides with the titles Why Internet May Not Be Reliable and How to Evaluate Website Content as full page slides. So that's 4 and 5. So if we go print, we want, actually no, we'll go print. Print range 4 to 5 as full slides. Hit OK and print those 2 as well as the handout of 6. Okay. Now we need to print the evidence document. Oh, mail merge selection method. Look at me missing things. Oops. Can you tell that it's late? Mail merge letters. So if I open this up, we're going to go to mailings. Nope, I'm not. I'm going to go to the checklist. No, not the RTF, the document. Yes, I do. Find data source. Well, that's what I was working on before. I haven't moved it. It's new stew. Okay. Oh. What? It was there. I do hate computers, you know. Open. Oh, for God's sake. See, now this is why you want to do something right the first time. Oh. What's the problem with newstew.csv? Oh, Word, I hate you. Okay, now I've got it open. I'm going to go and connect up to the CSV file that's apparently problematic. Oh, would you look at that? It's not problematic anymore. Who'd have thought? Okay, so I'm going to go back to filter. I'm going to go back to start date, and it was greater than or equal to, and the date was, come on, where are you? 11th of the 9th, 2017. There we go, hit OK, it was 4 people. And if I just take a screenshot of this, drop it into my evidence document. It was foolish of me to miss it first time around, but I've fixed it now. For those of you that have been shouting at your YouTube streams, having noticed me miss it first time around, I apologise sincerely. But I've fixed it. There we go. Okay, all done. I'm going to save this. You would print it, and that right there is the entire paper. Now, it should take you less than the 2.5 hours that they give you for it. It's taken me 1 hour and 21 minutes, and I'm a little sleepy at 6:44 p.m. on a Sunday evening. Hopefully you would be a little bit brighter and fresher than I am when you're actually doing the exam. Okay? I hope this was helpful. Good luck with your final couple of days of revision. And do make sure you drop me any emails if you've got any questions, okay? Bye for now.